Hello, Teaquilts. Today is Saturday, May 18th, 2024, and we are here with live sewing chat. We are going to be here for 2 hours tonight. It is 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, so we'll be here to 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I'm just trying to pull you guys up on my phone. Woo-hoo. Got Melody Kiefer and Darcy Savali saying hi, T, and all quilters. Give T a thumbs up. If you're new here, please subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications. When T is here, also check out her Facebook page, Teaquilts LLC, and make sure that you answer those 4 questions so that you can gain entry as well. We got Dee Branson also here, Janice Miller, Layton's here. Says she's paid the rent before she coming in, and she's working on the last row of an Irish chain. So that's cool. That's our scrap club project. I haven't started any of them. I like them. I like, off the top of my head, I like 2 of them. The Irish chain is one, and the one that does a whole lot with half square triangles in different sizes. I like that one too. But I haven't started either one. Hi, Sue GSD is back. Says it's a beautiful evening in St. Louis, Missouri. And do y'all know it's only 38 days until the absolute best caramel cake ever? She needs to quit. Carol Williams is here. Vivian Calvey, Sin Forrest. Said Sin. Bonita's here. Bonita H.A. is here. Bonita Nance is here. Catching up on work due to power outage last week. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And then we have, who else? Brenda Perkins, Leetta Bryan, Minnie Dula. Says she's going to start saving so she can experience the best retreat ever. See, we got Brenda Perkins. Said her rent's paid. And Sue says, did you happen to get my email? Girl, I haven't looked at any emails. I told y'all I went and ate, and then I took a nap. I was tired. And then I got up and had to work on t-shirt quilts. So I know I haven't gotten any emails. But I see it. Okay. Okay. She's getting in some retreat donations. I think my friend, she's coming over the second Saturday in June is when we're going to go over everything. So thank you, Sue, for donations. Okay, let me get out of here. Bonita, we was talking about you earlier today, girl. Bonita Nance. Remember that first time I brought that cake to the Houston Quilt Show? I think it was November 2018. And I had it in my backpack and had been walking around with it all day in Ziploc bags, and the cake was all crumbled up and stuff. But you were saying, I'm going to eat this cake. I don't care. Give me my cake. You were too funny. So today's agenda item is going to be quilt bindings. I have right now 3 quilts that need binding. I will have a 4th one. I have the 2 t-shirt quilts. I have a project quilt that I had to get done. I haven't even quilted the backdrop quilt. So yeah, so I got a lot of stuff to do. Carl talking about I'm going to have to get Sharon to bring me a slice of cake. Girl, Sharon gonna get beat up. Well, let me take that back. No, she not. Sharon is a multiple of all people into one, okay? Nobody gonna mess with Sharon. Oh my goodness. Ugh. Okay, so yeah, I'm receiving emails. My replies are not going out. That's the thing. My emails are not according. And I can't say people are fabricating. If they're not getting them, they're not getting them. That's the only way I know when people tell me that it's not going through, because on my end, it seems like it worked. Everybody else is telling me they didn't get it, or I'll send out a group email, have 50 people in it, and I want to cut this down. Have 50 people in it, and then, what are you doing? It's trying to zigzag, like, hello. So, and then some of the people get it, and some of them don't. So I don't understand. All right. Got that, this, and this. This one I only got 3 pieces because I cut it off of a 108. So I just needed 4 pieces because, well, four. I have 3 seams, 4 pieces. And that's because I only needed, 4 pieces to go on each side. These are the scraps from another quilt. So I wanted to sew these binding pieces together before I change my thread to stitch in the ditch. On the t-shirt quilt, I got 2 of them to do. I only got the binding on one. I'm hoping that I can, work tomorrow if I make myself work. I'm supposed to be taking Sundays off. But I'd like to get these quilts done so I can get them off of my to-do list. And then I don't have to worry about when I'm going to meet up with her. I can get that meeting scheduled. But I can't schedule a meeting if it's not done. Matter of fact, I need to move this machine back, get this thing off my knee. The knee lift that I like to use, but if it's too close to me, it's in the way. So I'm just making some binding right now. Let's see, it's just scrolling up. I'm laughing at Bernita talking about, yes, we were waiting on that cake. I was so embarrassed. I was like, oh, I'm like, y'all don't have to take this cake. I forgot it was in the bag. And between going in to get new battery for my camera for recording, buying a few items because I didn't pack it because I knew I had stuff in there, but I put a few things in there. But I forgot all about that cake. And that cake was looking rough around the edges. But that was one of the funniest excursions when I'm meeting people, bringing them something to eat. And it looked horrible. It looked like cake, but it was all in like one slice of cake, like a bundt. I think it was a bundt pan, but one slice of cake was like in about 12 different pieces or something. It was crumbled all up, caramel icing all over the place. It was too funny. Mona did what is here. And then Bonita also sent the best dessert after a long day of quilt classes. Yeah. Sin says she loves to bind. If that makes me weird, so be it. I don't mind doing it if I'm doing it on machine. What I mind is when I have to hand sew it to the back on a bed size quilt because it takes me about an hour for each side. So that's like 4 hours of binding when I'm hand binding. Sue is saying prayers and blessings to Kevin and his family. That's the only one I'm going to read. Phyllis G is here. Sometimes they block group emails, but I never had an issue. I've been sending block group emails for a long time. I've never had an issue with that before. Hi to Roberts. Said her rent's paid. Thank you. Does anyone know where I can get? So I bought a mat from a company for the back of my long arm. And I had them, I looked at their sizes and I bought the length that I wanted. And then I asked them to cut it. And I think they didn't charge that much extra to cut it. And then when they cut it, I made sure to tell them to send me the part that they cut off too, you know, because it's mine. I paid for it. So they'll cut it to the width you need for the back of your long arm, I guess is what I'm saying. So I had them cut mine, and that's what I use on my long arm. I've seen people say that they buy the 24-inch wide mats and they like tape them on the underside and then they use that and then they go get another tape measure and tape it or glue it to the bottom part of the mat so that the numbers are there. That's the one thing I like about having just a long mat because I can go from 0 to, I think mine's go up to 97, something like that. 90 something. So that covers most things that I'm doing. I did not oil this machine. I forgot. I did not come in here early. So that did not get done. I did not, you know, if I didn't oil it, I didn't clean it because I always clean it when I oil it too. But right now, it's not sounding too loud. Maybe when I get to the t-shirt quilt, it might rev up a little bit. I don't know. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. Trying to think like, oh, I just been quilting. That's what I've been doing. I'm trying to figure out like what have I been doing since Wednesday. I've been quilting, and then Friday was Thursday and Friday I was quilting, and then Friday I went to Jason and I went to see Kevin. So that's what had happened. Yeah, but I didn't check any social medias once I got off of here from earlier today. I be trying to get food and get what I need to get prepped for tonight. This fabric was already cut. This fabric here, but I had to I had to finish off the binding on the one that I had put on my long arm. The other quilt, I trimmed it, I squared it up a while back when I took it off my frame. What was that? Thursday. And I don't have binding on the front or the back of that quilt. So that's where we are. That's what I've been doing, is quilting. And then doing desk work too, trying to do some stuff for Quilt Retreat. I may have to take a trip up to Mercy Center since my emails are not working this week. But I'm hoping that I can, if I can get these t-shirt quilts done, I can do it all on the same day. Drop off these and that's it, y'all. This is connected. I'm not going to worry about it anymore for right now. I'll just plop it right here. Trying to see how much power. I just want to know what power. Okay, it's at least at 50. It was like at 7% before. Deborah Holloway is here. Hi, Deborah. Welcome, welcome. So, all right, trying to see if this is gonna fall off or do something, you know. Okay, let's see. Okay. Probably don't have any. Oh, I do have black. That's good. And let's see. Let's just take all of this off. It's my remote for the TV. May as well just go ahead and oil it since I'm taking out the thread anyway. And I'm going to put this in the one with the colored thread. Hi, Jeff Galonia. Just got done with the Ferguson Twilight run. Wondering if I should drop of oil in here. I haven't in a while. Just to let it do that while I do this quick clean. Well, you know, we say quick, but you know. Well, yeah, I needed cleaning. It wasn't gonna do but get even dirtier with this black thread I'm about to pull out and put on here. Okay. And I don't think I need to clean the thread thing, the thread catcher, the cutter. So we'll skip that part on the live. Alright, this goes in here, this back over there. I don't have any batting scraps in here because I've been using them as for a little bit too much oil. All right. Put you back. Yep, that's good. Lock that in. I'm looking at this black thread and all I can think about is the song Black Socks. They never get dirty. Oh my goodness. This is the craziest thing. It's sitting right in the thing, in that channel, and it doesn't. I guess that's just something I need to have them look at. Maybe something's broke on here that I don't know about. Because it does this all the time. And then finally it'll click. Maybe something's broken. I'm gonna... I see one of the bristles from my brush laying up here. Okay. All right. This back. I'm almost done with this spool of thread. Oops. This feels a little thick. Let me see what this thread is. It's 40 instead of 50. That's why I can sew with it, but it's all right. It's on top. Okay, this is gonna make a mess. Let's see. It's huge. Keep as much of this in my pocket as in my pocket, in my lap as I can. And then I I have the binding where I sewed it onto the front of the quilt on my long arm. And then I had the two ends I have to meet up. Have about 10 inches that I come in here and sew. And then I go press it on my big board. Yeah, that's what I did. So I am going to turn this corner, go back just a few inches so I can turn around the corner and not start right in a corner. And I want to increase my stitch length to like 3.0 because I'm going through a lot of layers. And I just want to do needle up and down right here and raise this presser foot so I can pull up my bobbin thread if it comes up. Yep, it acting like it don't want to come up. And it did not either. It's just down there. Just, you know, doing what it do. Alright. So I'm trying to stitch right in the ditch. Sometimes I'll use the color thread of my binding. Since I'm doing black binding, I decided I'm going to stitch in black. So if I do get on my binding, it's not like red glaring me in the eyes. Because I'm not going to be taking it out. I'm hoping to stay where I need to stay in the ditch. But every once in a while you'll wiggle off and hit your binding. So I'm using black instead of red today. And then I'm going to hand put this in the corner right there. And now I'm going to turn. Yep. And I guess I'm going to leave this long thread so because black on black is hard to see. Helena Marie Carter is here. Judy Smith is here. Maddie Barnum's back. Harriet Susan Franklin's back. And Sandy Agger says, pull the dual feeder. Oh, thank you. I forgot that part, didn't I? Thank you. I forgot that. Thank you, Sandy. Sandy for the win. Yes. Because I am using my 97D foot, which is a dual feed foot. All right. So I'm probably going to end up covering this phone up where I'm not going to see it. Let's see. I have nowhere else to put it. Hi, Francis Jackson. Because it's going to be coming through. Now, when I push this to the back, I'm trying to make sure I just take a little at a time and make sure that I have it nice and flat so I'm catching the back. So it just takes a little, it takes a while. It's not a speed on this one. You could use clips. You could also glue it. That'll work too. I probably need to glue, but I'm, trying not to have that extra expense. Because I would have to use some kind of white liquid glue, not like Elmer's glue stick. You need something that's more of a liquid that you can dry. I may have to end up start doing that. So I just take a few inches at a time. It'll be all right. I'm just here chatting with you guys. The only thing is here I can see more of the phone. This is awkward because it's not where I'm sewing. Somebody has asked, have I used invisible thread? I used to use invisible thread years ago. I think I've talked about that. Who is that that's asking? Maddie. And I don't know what they're doing with invisible thread today. So, but the invisible thread, when it came out, had about 2 companies that made them. Both of them were horrible. You stitch for a while and then the thread would break. And then we still trying to trug along and use it. They had the clear in white, and then they had a clear that was like for your dark fabrics. So it looked dark slate gray. So I ended up taking my machine to the shop because my machine was not, it was giving me some issues. And I couldn't figure out what was going on with it. And the technician had attached to my machine a baggie that had all of the invisible thread that had wrapped around my tension guide, and it stripped the tension guide because it just kept getting tighter and tighter in there. And of course, when I'm cleaning, I take my machines apart. I look at my stuff and I clean up in there. So I'm one of those people that will take the covers off of my machines to do some of the basic cleaning, so I don't have to like worry about it all the time. But I didn't use it anymore after that. I was done with invisible thread. Now, I'm pretty sure there are some better and newer invisible threads out here today. I'm just not a user of the thread. I've learned that you're gonna see, like here I use gray thread, and you're gonna see the quilting, and then when I have it in the gray, it's just more of the texture, like when it's in this gray, which is not a whole lot of gray right here, and I don't have another gray area. No, because I can't be unwrapping this. But so your thread is gonna show somewhere, but I found even with scrap quilts that have all kinds of colors, there's about 4 threads that I use on all color quilts. And gray is one. And you can pick whatever value, light and dark, that looks best when you just roll it out on your quilt. Gray is one. Either chambray or heather blue is another. No, Mother Goose is a beige one. So the heather or chambray blue, so that's 2. Gray, blue, and then Mother Goose is a thread color that's kind of tannish color. More darkish tan, not your light beigey type tans. And the last color that I use is yellow. And the reason why, think about yellow with flowers, and any color you have almost goes with yellow. And so yellow will tend to work with any scrap quilt. So I'm talking about yellow to yellow golds and things like that. So I have like 4 spools of thread that I always keep in stock for quilts that are multicolor. And then after that, I just let the thread show. I pick a thread that I think is going to be the best for the quilt, and then that's what I do. Now, if you are machine quilting on something like this and you're quilting particular sections, you can change your thread colors to the background as you go. It's no big deal. But when I'm doing long arm quilting and I'm doing all over pantos, I don't have that particular luxury of changing threads. And that's why a lot of people will use invisible threads. I'm just not a fan of them, just from my own history with them. And I was doing a lot of quilting on my home sewing machines at that time using invisible thread. But I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. I just don't use it. I know nothing about it now. And I can't remember the company, but I think YLI was one, but I can't remember the other company. And I probably got some back in my other little storage area. you know, just sitting there, just in case I ever decide I'm gonna put some in, but I haven't. I've had two other machines that since that I'm doing basic piecing on. Since I bought that, I've used the Baby Lock Elagio that never used invisible thread, and I'm using this Bernina 770. And the one that I had the issue with it on was my Singer XL 1000. So it's been a long time since I've used that machine as my base piecing and quilting machine. That was the machine that when I went to the Elagio, Baby Lock Elagio, I used it only for machine quilting. But I wasn't using invisible thread. I had stopped using it by then. Because it was, when that happened, it was my main machine for everything. Embroidery, everything. I do have an old Singer CXL, which I also use, but I mostly would use it when I go traveling to classes or something, so I wouldn't have to move my main machine out of my workspace. But I need to change needles or something. It's like giving me a little clicky noise. Maybe it got hit with something when it went on that little mini zigzag, but you know, it won't get wider than the hole. Hi Janet McCarroll. Darcy's reminding people to hit the thumbs up button. Thank you, ma'am. If you haven't already, please do so. So, I guess I need to look at the back and make sure it's stitching down. Yeah. You just can't see black thread. It's so weird. And then after I got like this black Kona cotton phrase, you know, it hasn't been washed. So I'm trying to make sure when I see it that I cut it. But I have to photograph this and then I'll do a final cleanup on it. Hi, Quilt Gal. Her thumbs up is done. Just woke up from a nap. Girl, I had to go take one. I ate and then I guess I went to sleep about 4:30. Made myself get up or laid down at 4:30. I don't know what time I went to sleep because I was watching YouTube again and fell asleep. And then I got up at 6:30 so I could get my quilts, this quilt pressed. I had to finish the binding ends, the binding tails, and then get it pressed. I like to press my binding to the back so that it has a memory when I go and fold it over. I'm not fighting against its gravity from being put on the front. So, like I press my binding to the back. It's not staying perfect. Some people will press and then they'll use binding clips, but I'm not going to use 200 binding clips. So I just go ahead and give it a memory, and then when I come through here, I just do it little by little. I used to clip it, pin it, and I should be gluing, but I'm not. But you know, we'll see how this goes. If I have a whole lot of issues today, or have places that I got to go back and hand sew, every once in a while I have like 2 places that I got to sew like 1 inch to 2 inch because I missed the back. So I'll do all that inspection and then I'll put pins so I know where I got to do any corrections. And then I'll fix it like that. But if I have a lot of that, then I'm going to start using glue. But I've been doing okay lately on my last t-shirt quilts that I've done this way. So I haven't had any issues. Just got to make sure I hold this batting to the back and make sure it's going through flat. And then I'm stitching right in the ditch between the binding and my border fabric. And normally I use my border fabric color because it's sitting on the border for those that have just come in. But because it's red, I'm not going to put a red in here, so I'm using black because it would be, if I had missed a spot and it hit this black, it's going to be too stark. But I haven't missed yet. I'm not hiding anything yet. Bonita is asking, she's asking Sandy, but Sandy's not reading the chat. How does the dual feeder work? It's just like having your walking foot. And we use it for piecing, but anytime we have 97 regular foot, and then we have 97C, and then they're like different millimeters wide. And then we have 97D. And they are millimeters wide because those particular machines that run the feet that they were made for originally were so many centimeters. The feed dogs were so many centimeters wide. So on the 770, you use the D feet. And then if you do use the D feet, you can use the C, and then you don't have to use this. But most of us do use the dual feeder part for piecing and for quilting. But we also have a quilting foot as well. You know, the BSR Bernina stitch regulator that you can attach. But it's supposed to be helping to make sure your stitches are regulated, so everything's feeding through evenly. It's not officially regulated, but it's supposed to help feed through more smoothly. So it's like a walking foot. Okay, I don't like how this corner turned in, so let's see what we can do about that. Much better. Much better. I just pressed it wrong. I'm going to put a pin because I don't want to hold all the way back here, but I don't want my corner to move. Okay. And I want to still go down a little bit. Yeah, if you just slow down, take your time, you can get into this ditch and don't have any problems. And then I'm going to get into this corner. Okay, take that pin out so it's not in the way. And I'm just going to stitch until I'm in the corner, and it did it on its own, so I don't even have to adjust that one. Woo-wee! So, let me show you what my stitching in the ditch looks like. You're not going to be able to see because it's black. And I'm perfectly in the ditch here, in between this red and this black. You can't see a thing, but you can tell that the binding is down over here. I can't pull it up, okay? And then this is what the stitching looks like on the binding right here. I'm trying to get you all in an angle of a light, but then, you know, it's hard to see black on black, so that's the best I can do. Maddie saying she wondered if it was good. Yeah. And Darcy says she's used invisible thread. Like I said, I know people have told me that there's new stuff out there. I just don't have the need for it anymore. I just don't have the need for it. So I guess I just don't use it. Okay. Just trying to make sure everything's covering my stitching underneath. And I'm just stitching in the ditch here. Yep. Yep, I'm like, I'm almost finished with this, so I may as well get this turned in so I can get paid, you know? It don't make sense now to be procrastinating. Thank you, Maddie. Says the quilt is really pretty. This is the quilt that they're titled Our Zen, and it's musicals and concert t-shirts in this quilt. Hold on. Fold it out of my wrap. I told y'all I was going to end up being just a head over here earlier today. I'm trying to keep it down as much as I can. So. Alrighty. You're welcome, Benita. Jenny says I use invisible thread to stitch my label down, so that's good too. Like I said, I've been told, you know, by people that use it that there's new stuff out that's better, but I can't tell you what that is because I just don't use it. So I do know it's not like it was back in the late, like I started quilting in 1994, so the late 90s and early 2000s, you know, thread was horrible. I think the only reason I kept it so that I know not to buy that brand if I ever do use invisible thread. That was probably one of the reasons why I kept it instead of pitching it. Getting almost to the end of the second. I'm already at the second side, so that's good. And I'm not an hour in, and I've already pieced the binding strips for the other one too, so that's good. So we're really good on time. This one here, I got a spot on here I need to fix when I find it. I had something happen with doing machine quilting, like part of it got a little, like about a quarter of an inch inside, well, so a half of an inch, because I can see a quarter of an inch. Something happened on the edge, and I don't know what it did because I didn't see it. I just know that when I went to my machine, I saw that it looked funny. So I got to pull out a few threads. When I was at my press station, I saw it again. And I just need to get it, you know, take out a few threads when I get to it. So I can't miss it. Because it's like, it's stitched in its space. It stitched a few stitches in space, in place. And it wouldn't, I don't know why it did that. Like if it got, you know, it's computerized. So every once in a while, y'all, computer stuff do crazy stuff too. So computer stuff will do crazy stuff too. So so was really quilting this week. Trying to get this stuff off my list. I got one more to do, and then I can switch over to t-shirts. I think is next. T-shirts are supposed to be on my machine after I come back from retreat. So I need to have all of my quilts quilted. And I only got one more that's got to be quilted. One more thing that's got to be quilted for the quilt retreat. And then I'm done. I got other stuff to quilt, but I don't have anything that I need to have done before the retreat. So one more. It's going on next. I have a quilt on my frame that needs binding. So that's why it's sitting on the frame. I finished it today. Okay. I gotta, just a place where the black is coming through the phrase. And I want to make sure this corner looks good, so I don't have to do any adjustments. Every once in a while you can press a corner down bad. That's what I did to the previous corner. So this should be side number 2. I'm going to do one more stitch and put it where I want it. Right there. And turn. Ooh-wee. You're trying to pull as many strings. It's getting strings off my design board. But I'm still trying to. Here's where that's. No, it's not. Is that it? No. It's just a gray piece of thread. That's not it. Okie dokie. This is already in my lap, so that's good. Oh my goodness. Uh-oh, I see this back already. I can just tuck it. Oh, it's coming off. I was going to tuck it under there, but it was coming off. Now we'll tuck whatever's didn't come off. Okay. It's getting fuller and fuller over here. I mean, black picks up everything. I used black batting in this as well because when you have a lot of black and you're quilting, the needle going up and down in those black areas, it wants to pull the batting up so it looks, the bearding of the batting. So I also use black batting. On this one. We sewed on Wensleydale earlier today. If you missed that video, I got to lay this out somewhere where I can lay the whole thing out. I got other stuff on my design board. I have boho heart still have strips on my design wall, and I need to take them off, except that I wanted to expand the outsides and I haven't done that, and so I need the strips because they got all the numbers on them. But I think I'm just gonna go ahead and take them down and just pray I can get them back in order or something. I got them numbered, hoping nothing strange has happened over there. But I just want to add, was it 2 or 3 more rows on the outside of the edges so that it wasn't just a block out there. I didn't want to add a border. I just want to float it. One of them I added a border to. The other one I just want to float it. I don't want to put a whole border. But we'll see. So those strips are still up on my wall because I haven't done that. That's because they've been put into my quilt lectures, and so they're not in the house. So out of sight, out of mind. I'm trying to get every string I see. Although it's not going to do much. Okay. I just pull those out. Okay. Pull this one. Okay. Tuck you under. One of those sections where I can only do a little at a time. Trying to make sure all the extra threads are tucked up in there. Whoops. I hope that worked. I got out of my ditch a little bit. It's like, whoop. I'll stitch a little bit and then I'll look at it. It made it. Thank you. It made it. Can't be getting out the ditch, girl. Not to the left. I went out the ditch to the left, not on the binding. But it made it. All right. Woo. Let me see what y'all saying in here. Darcy says, I zoomed in as much as I could when you showed us, and I couldn't see any of your stitches. Right. If you put it in the ditch, you're doing a good, it's a great thing. So Francis says you're doing a fantastic job. Beautiful quilt from Claudette. Not Claudette, June Hanson. Claudette Bettis came in saying hi to everyone. I tried it in the 80s and hated it. So Sue was with me with that invisible thread. It was horrible back in the day. I never used invisible thread. I started sewing in 1986. And so I didn't start quilting till 1994. So then I probably started using invisible threads somewhere around 4 or 5 years in because I didn't know about it originally. But I never, it was never my favorite. Sin is telling you all, help the numbers. It's important for T. Thank you. Hit the thumbs up button. Patricia Priest is back. She was in here earlier today as well. So welcome back. I think now I'm caught up on the chat stuff. I don't know why I didn't pause my video because I don't need to watch myself. I can see it over here, And I don't know how to turn up the volume if I need to turn up volume because when I'm looking at my video on TV, I have to turn my volume up. I'm using a different mic system. And so I'm confused. I've looked at the receiver and the mic and I don't see where I have a volume button. So I'm going to have to figure that out. I'm going to have to go watch some videos or something. Maybe I need to be using an app that I don't know about. So I'm going to have to watch some videos. YouTube University. I was using the ear wrap around the head ear mic, and I felt like when I was talking, my words weren't lining up with the audio I'm hearing. So I went and bought a more expensive mic. Y'all know I have a microphone issue, so I'm buying an expensive mic to see if it's different. And I got so many days before I can return it. But I need to figure out now the volume, because I had to cut my television up in order to hear myself when I have it really low for everything else. So, here's one up here. That one came out. I don't like stitching over threads because they're harder to get out. So anything in my stitch line, I'm definitely cutting out, getting out the way. If it's somewhere else on the quilt just laying on top, it's not a crisis. But if I see them, I still pull them anyway. Just means I don't have to pull it later, But when I'm in here, I'm picking up all kinds of threads as I'm working because, this is thread haven in here. I got design boards sitting right there. So it's all thread haven over here. I cleaned my desk up, but that don't mean anything. I still like my little desk vacuum. I use it all the time. It has never left this room. I could use it at my computer desk too, but it's like, no, it's gonna stay right up there. Good night, Darcy. It looks like Darcy is leaving. Oh no, Darcy was. Is she saying good night? I think she was saying good night to somebody else. Okay. And Darcy's saying she can hear me perfectly fine on her television. Okay. Because when I get to some YouTubers, their volumes is so loud I have to cut them down. This one looks awfully fat. I'm going to have to look at that. Where it's pressed at. All I do is I'll just put a pin in it if I have to make any corrections. But it's stitched. It just looked fat from the front. It's stitched right in place. I still haven't come to that point where I needed to take some thread out. It's about maybe 10 stitches, and with its back tacking on itself, I couldn't get it out while it was on the long arm. So I just went on ahead and stitched across it with the binding, and then I just take the stitches out up to the binding. But I haven't seen it. I saw it when I was pressing. I got one more side to do. One more side. Uh-oh, I got a long black thread this time. Ooh-wee. That one was almost to the corner. Okay. I'm almost to the bottom of side number 3. So still doing decent with time. Down to this corner. All right, it popped right into the corner on its own. And I gotta get this last corner out of here. It's just a quilt. Last corner. Ooh-wee. Oh, okay. Quilt, yeah, saying take a picture of your strips. I got numbers on them. And then, I didn't have 60 different fabrics like she recommends in the pattern, or not, she don't really recommend. So I was using strips like continuously, and then I started running out of strips and had to like replace strips. So that's good. I normally do always take pictures of stuff, so that's good reminder before I move them. Because I'm going to take that down. I got some quilt blocks up there, and then I'm going to move my Wensleydale. Y'all won't see it anymore, but I'm going to move my Wensleydale over there just so that I can have a place where I can lay it out. Because once I lay out what I got and sew it together, it'll just be up there. So I'll use either my kitchen floor or my bed to lay what I got done today out so I can sew it all together. Then the top portions can stay. I don't have to worry about moving those anymore on the first row, on the top row anyway. And then I'll just take a picture of it and use it as my thumbnail the next time I sew Wensleydale. Maybe. Because I normally use a picture of me and Kevin. We'll see. I'll post it in the Teaquilts group what I have. That's what I'll do in the Facebook group. Okay, I still don't see this part. That was a problem. Like, did I stitch it because I was talking to y'all? Oh, it's coming up. I may as well do it now since I'm looking for it. Hi. Oh my goodness. Michelle, the quilter is back. Right, I told y'all earlier today I was just going to be ahead, right? I'm going to take that out. Oh, what it did was it flipped the batting back onto the quilt. So that's what had happened. This batting that's sitting here, and I couldn't get it all out while I was at the on the long arm. Because I didn't want to put a hole in it. You know, it's a lot of work. Okay. Let me see if I can get it any better from the back. Maybe I can. Well, the stitches are so tiny. Because when it got caught in that backing, in the batting, it just started stitching. And it was like stitching in place. It's like, stop. So these are tiny stitches and batting is in it. But, with me using black batting, I just got this spot of black on my red. And I'm like, nope, you got to go. I am not giving that to my customer looking like that. You have got to get out of here. The stitches are so super tiny. It's ridiculous. It's coming. I'm glad I'm doing it here where I can pull it back close to me than having it at, up into the machine. I'm glad I'm seeing it early. I thought I had missed it. I don't want to put a hole in my quilt. Trying to make sure I'm only dealing with thread only. There we go. That should help a lot. Still not enough. I got part of it. Still not enough to pull it out. One piece of thread. I want to say when stuff mess up on computerized system, it mess up real good for you. I had never had, well, I've had it kick back, but because my batting was, I don't know if I mismeasured the batting. I'm assuming that's what I did. And my batting was only like an inch bigger than the quilt on each side. When I got to the bottom, I don't know, I cut crooked or something. And I'd never had that happen before. So it when it overstitched, it came back and knocked the batting up. After that, I started basting that sucker down, okay? I basted my quilt top And I basted that batting. I was not messing around. Mm. I got one more, like, it's like so many little tiny stitches, and I can't get the seam ripper under it. And the back is even worse because it's gray on gray, so I really can't see it. And it's about a half inch, if that, long, but it's got a whole lot of stitches in it. uh, Mixed in with the batting. So, so if I do this, I'll contact her tomorrow and see when she wants to meet. I meet her at her job, and not Monday because I still need to do some stuff to drop off at Mercy because my email is not working right. I want to make sure she gets, um, all of our papers that she needs. It's got to be there before the end of the month. The final paperwork. I think I got about 3 or 4 things I got to turn in to her. I got one done. I cannot get that from that side. Let's try the back side. Maybe the thread. Oh, it is loosened up on the back a little bit. I just got to get this one little part out of here. It's getting better. It's like the thread, instead of just laying thread because it was stitching so many times in places, it's like little knots. And so I have to work my way into a knot and not get the backing fabric because I don't know how far the backing fabric is in there. Okay. One more time from the front. It looks better than it did already. I pulled out almost all the batting is out. It's just these little baby stitches. And I'm trying not to cut the quilt border fabric either. They are so tiny, y'all. I got part of it out of just this one last part. I'll go ahead and stitch what I got. I was trying to get out as much of it as I could before I stitch this binding down. That's why I'm trying to get it out now. Because it's up underneath the binding. And I can work from both sides, but this thread don't want to let go. Let me see if I can pull it apart. See if that helps. See if that gives me a little space. Okay. There's a stitch right here. I can see that was good. So pulling it apart helped. I just got one more big knot. It's a big little knot. If I could just get that one knot, I'd be happy. Here we go. One more time, girl. It moved the other direction. Okay, now let's pull this thread and see if it comes out. Still didn't come out. But I see the knot gone. It's another thread underneath. It's another thread underneath. Just about got it out. See if that helped. Another piece came out. Okay. I'm going to pull it again apart. I'm almost there. It's still not moving out of that one. There it go. I heard it pop. Heard it pop. So that thread came out when it popped with this last one. Yep. Yep. Trying to see now if I got any leftover thread. One piece of gray. Yep. And that's it. Yay. That's why I couldn't get it on the long arm. See how long it took me with it right in my face. Goodness gracious. um, Darcy says we're low on the thumbs up. Make sure you hit it. Maritza's Yarn and Crafts is here. Darcy's telling Sheila I look like the Sheila Willis came in telling I look like the Cookie Monster with the quilt. All I am is a head up here. But I warned ahead of time. This is what I have to do when you have a small sewing space. This is what happens. I'm on the last side of this border, so now I'm done. All I got to do now is just flip this quilt to the back. Once I take photos and make sure I don't have any, like when my bobbin ran out, I don't have any long threads underneath, just to make sure. I make sure the tension is right as I'm rolling. So I'm not going to have that problem. But I want to make sure I don't leave any long threads on the back, and then I'll clean the front with a lint roller and fold it up. Woo-wee. I guess I could be the quilting monster since I have quilts. Or the quilty monster. I'm just a head sitting here. Okay. Okay, almost there. Well, about halfway there. Almost, not halfway yet. Goodness gracious. But it's the last side, should be, if I'm counting correct. It only lasts for about, what, 10 stitches. Comes right back up. Yep, there's my little part. Oops, my starch was leaking. I went to go get just a little bit of it to put on there, and I got it all over me. So we'll put it on these strips. It was just laying down. I don't know why I was leaking. My top's on tight. That's best press. Over there leaking like that. I just wanted to put a little starch in that spot that I took all the seams out so it can close up those fibers when it dries. All right. Okay, still coming out with strings. That seam felt pretty tight, so I wanted to make sure, but it got caught too. Almost done. Let's see. Yep, I see the long black thread. Corners almost here. And once I get this one done, the other one, this is queen size. The other one is twin size. It's 64 by 84, something like that. So it won't be as much of a nightmare as this one. So I'm doing the hard, and I'm always, every step, I've been doing the hard one first. Well, piecing, I did the other one first because I was able to get started faster. But quilting and all of that, everything else, I've been doing this one first. Labels and everything like that, so that I could get this one out the way since it's the biggest one. So the hard part's done. Okay. All right, almost to the corner. Woo! It was a war. Okay. Got my thread from where I started right here. Pull it out. Again, back stitch and cut, which is not going to cut because it's not. But it cut the, oh, it didn't cut the back. I thought it did, but that's what black thread does for you. You can't see it. All right. So yay, yay, and yay, yay. This monster is done. Now I had it nice and folded. I'm not going to be able to do that in here. So I'm just going to keep it gathered up like this. And when I get ready to stand up, I can just pick it up. Let's see. Got these pieces here. For the next quilt. Put this back. I don't know where I stopped. I think Melody left. Remo came in, reminding people to show your love and hit the thumbs up button. So yeah, I had to sew 3 seams here. They need to be cut off. These are bindings for the other t-shirt quilt. I use the backing on the fabric that I just did on the back of this quilt. I use this fabric, and so now I just took the binding edges. When I squared the quilt up, I took those pieces and cut the binding out of. I only had to cut 4 pieces because this quilt is bigger than the other quilt, so I didn't even need an extra strip. So that was a win. Then I don't have this in my scrap bin. I'll put it in Kim's bucket. Kim can figure out what to do with it. I got one more somewhere. Only trimmed 2. Lost the 3rd one. Only trimmed 2. Here it is. All right. All right, all right. I normally bring the binding this way. I'm going to try the other way, see how it works. If I don't like it, I'll turn it back. Uh-oh. I don't have a lot of water in here. And I don't have my little binding pull. Let's see, how wide is that binding? 2.5 inches. I normally do my binding the other way. This end, the starter end going that way, pull the other way. But let's try it. I'm so left-handed, so see if this will work. So I can get this ready to go on the other quilt. I think I'll try to see if I can meet her Wednesday. That'll give me Monday to get it onto the quilt, Tuesday to get photos, 2 days to get photos, hoping I have good rain days. And then we go from there. Oh my gosh, I gave a quilt back and didn't even take a picture of it. I don't know if Jeff probably went to bed. I quilted a quilt for Jeff and I didn't even take a picture of it because it was like last minute quilting. I didn't even think about it. Oops. Oh well. I'll just have him bring it to Scrap Club. I'll take a picture at Scrap Club. I'm pressing on the Steady Betty for anybody that's interested in what this is down here. It's a double-sided heat-resistant foam on some kind of two hard boards. I don't know if it's cardboard in there, if it's something else. I have no idea, but I've had this for years. It looks horrible, but it's a great press surface and it doesn't stretch your blocks. But I got tired of stitching, using that other one, so I brought this one in, that little small cut and press mat. It was just 10 inches square. I got tired of using it. So I'm really happy that I finally pulled this out and brought it in here. I normally take this on retreats and stuff. So I took it out of my packed bag. I don't even know if they make this anymore, since everybody's using wool mat. And you could put a wool mat on top if you want to, but this just, it doesn't make stuff stretch, so. But it's weird how this foam is not being burned up with us pressing on the wool setting. Wool and linen settings on our iron. Dorsey says my binding must have looked wider. I think everything on the screen looks wider. But it's just 2.5. And I actually rotary cut these too. I was using like the slotted rulers to cut. You got GE Designs, you've got June Taylor. I just find they're not accurate. My strips were a little bit wider than they should be, my opinion. And it works when you got big pieces, but if you're cutting miniatures, not miniatures, even like 2.5-inch squares, or to make half square triangles, small size, I wouldn't use that. But I was cutting strips, rectangles, and I was using it, and my rectangles are just a little bit longer, but I'm going to just accommodate for them in the, final design when I go to piece it. I know what to do, because I'm not recutting them. All right. This is really cool. I probably got more binding here than I need, but, I didn't measure it. I just cut 4 pieces, knowing that 4 pieces would be more than enough. So on this one, I'm going to put this one, since it's off my long arm now, and I've already squared it up. I'm going to put this binding onto the back side first, and then flip it to the front and stitch it down from the front. So she's going to get binding 2 different ways. And I'll definitely have to use a gray thread to stitch it down. Sharon, I'm just typing so I can get your comment up. T, do you recall how many signature blocks we should make for retreat? I'm working on them now using paper piece method. They are 32 people that are supposed to be a retreat, so make 32. Because I don't know if somebody's going to show up or not show up. I'm trying to make sure. I got 2 vacancies. I got one person letting me know tomorrow. And I have another person that don't know if they're going to show up until it's time to show up. So, plan on 32. You can always use it next year. Or the next time you come. Good night, Shirley Henderson. Sorry, I was going to say Williams. So she's got to work in the morning. You're welcome, Sharon. Still got a mountain. I've done a lot. That's how come I know it's going to be more than I need, but that's okay. Did I put my name on this? Nope. Let me put my name on this strip stick. Oops, putting it on backwards because I'm lifting it with my right hand. I opened up the new one today. I can't even spell my own name. Let that dry. Right there. Because I got other fabrics back there. I think this is seam number 2, I guess. Because I got one more down there. I guess I didn't get this back on the thing. Nope, I did not. All right. So it's 9:40. We got 20 more minutes. So I was able to clean the machine. That's important. Sew my binding strips together for 2 quilts. And now I'm pressing one. And I've finished the binding on the largest quilt, sewing it in the ditch all the way around. It's 97.5 inches square for queen size. I normally do 98, but my fabric only allowed, my border fabric wouldn't let me cut 6.5. I would be a strip short, but it would let me cut 6, so that's what I cut. So sometimes I make adjustments, you know, based on how much fabric I have. Girl's got to do what she got to do. Got to use what I have. And that red border fabric came off of a previous quilt that I had put red on the back of hers. So I had it just sitting there, and I'm like, girl, we're going to use up all this stuff. Because they never tell me what fabrics to use. I just look at the shirts and just go from there. They're not one of those that are real sticklers about the fabric. So I make sure that it matches. And then I just go from there. They do tell me what position they want their shirts, though. That they do. And I kind of like that. Then I don't have to figure that part out. So. Darcy's reminding people, if you're getting ready to go, please make sure that you've hit the thumbs up button on your way out, please. I really would appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Hey, Joe Cormel Perkins. I mean, yeah. I thought maybe I had gave her a new last name first. She says, I'm late, but I love your Wensleydale box. Thank you. I'm hoping, you know, maybe I'll do a little bit of pleasure sewing instead of work sewing tomorrow. And then I can, put a picture into the Facebook group. So I can add my yellow in. My yellow is too long to go up there. Okay. Last binding seam. Piece of black thread in here. Don't want black underneath gray, that's for sure. Light gray. All of this can go down. Should be getting close now. I did the last seam. This much left. And we got 15 minutes left, something like that. Okay. Maybe a couple more, just a couple more on the board. We're getting close to being done. And then I can go eat dinner. I cooked enough earlier today to eat again when I get off of here. So that means I'll be up for a minute. I'll go lay out my Wensleydale maybe. I don't know. I want to put it on the wall, and I got to clear the wall and put that someplace I'll remember. So maybe I need to do that tomorrow and not tonight. Almost finished. Black thread again. Guess I didn't get rid of it. All right, right there. I don't think I put this on the charging base right because I don't hear any steam. All right. This one I'm doing at my machine here. I want it to come off like that. No, I want it. Yeah, so I want that on the outside this way. Okay. So I'm going to take it and roll it up. And I'm rolling it because I'm going to put it on my thread spindle. Whoops. Let's just fold it down. I'm going to put this on my thread spindle and have it come off my machine. I just need to have it come off the right direction. It's been so long since I put binding on the machine over here. I keep dropping it. Don't do it. My fingers are like just out. And it's so weird because I just drop stuff. It can be like a light cup, nothing heavy, nothing hurts. And I go get it x-rayed and they don't show anything. So, just weird. Maybe I need to put it in my left hand. Oh, Darcy said she was dandelion picking instead of sewing today. That is so weird that that's considered a weed, but they're so pretty in the field. We definitely don't want to drop it no more. It's getting bigger. Making a spool of thread. A spool of binding in actuality. I don't know why I put this back into my right hand. This look like an awful lot of binding. Goodness gracious. And I still got a lot to roll. It's only 4 strips. Goodness. I probably could have got away with 3. I'll just use it for something else later. I got plenty of this fabric left, so. Darcy says the dandelions be okay. If they didn't spread so quickly, yeah. I've been getting sunflowers in my yard, and I know I didn't put any out there, but like the birds must have brought seeds and have dropped them or something, or the squirrels. But I sometimes get huge, giant sunflowers if I don't get the weeds out ahead of time. I need to be working on this one patch that has it. I need to be putting some weed fabric down, and I want to put some bricks around the outer perimeter too, and then buy some rocks to fill in, some gravel, some kind of gravel. Yay. Still got long. I don't think I've had well, I've had it bigger than this, but I got a lot to roll still. It looks, this is going to be a giant one. I'm going to be able to do 1.5 quilts with this thing. But that's okay. I'll have it ready for the next time. Bonita's asking, maybe you all know, what do you use to get pencil marks off of spool of white thread? I have never had that issue. I would just try some soap and water. You sure it's pencil and not oil too? Because sometimes it could be oil, but I don't know. I would just think soap and water. Almost. Anybody help with had issues with? I've never had pencil marks on thread, so I don't know. On a spool of thread. Almost to the end now. It's not so bad. Oh, okay. It's dark and been rolling around in a bin. Okay. Okay. I have no idea. I would just try some soapy water, and then I guess you're going to have to let it dry for a while if you're going to wet it. But yeah, so there's my spool of bobbin. I'm going to put some pins in here to hold it. And I'll stick it on the thread spindle. Ugh. Right now. Well, I'm going to take you off. It's right at that ruler. And then I just put it on here. Right there. And then I can just roll it on off. So it's ready to go. Bonita says, I thought about cutting through the layers. I think I would just unravel it until it got to that point. I wouldn't cut it. I'll just unravel it, because then you can stop when you see it where it stopped doing that. And then if it's look like it's Darcy says that looks like a jelly roll. Yep. I got it up there ready to go whenever I decide to come in here and do that. But if I do that tomorrow, then that'll give me Monday and Tuesday to get pictures. If I do it Monday, I have to do it Monday morning, and then I can use Monday. I have to take pictures in the afternoon if I'm using my deck. I can't take them in the morning because it puts a shadow on the quilt. Every once in a while, I go ahead and do it because I don't have any choice. But I have to take pictures between 3 and 6 p.m. Otherwise, I have shadows on the quilt. So I'm gonna, don't look like we got any more comments. I plan to be back Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for 1 hour chat. We'll see what I'm working on. I'll probably be doing something someone wise because I'm trying to get everything caught up. I don't think I'll be working on this I could, if I get it laid out, I guess I could get what I need to get caught up so I get all, I need to have at least 20 blocks completed. I got 2 more sessions that we hope to sew on this quilt. And if I do 20 each time, because we're supposed to have 30 blocks done today, I got 20, and then 30 blocks done next month, and then the following month, it should be putting it all together. So what I'm doing, we had 3 more sessions including today. So what I did was divided them up, and I'm putting mine together because I got all these different colors I'm trying to keep straight. So I'm going to do 20 blocks each time, and then I'll just have to sew my rows together on the last session too, I guess. So I still might be a little bit behind, but it's better than doing nothing. At least I was cut today. um, so Monty Pep's laughing at me. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and get off of here before I put somebody in timeout accidentally because it just popped up. And I will see you all on Wednesday, and I'll be here Saturday because my quilt retreat is 2 weeks from Thursday. So I got like a week and a half. So I'll be here all of next week. So I will see you all. You all stay blessed. Be safe, everybody. And good night.